There's not one way to do life, that there's a whole nother option that was never told to you ever, growing up or even in your adulthood life. And this story just really demonstrates it. So once there was this man, and he would every day, he would go to the river and he would fill up his buckets and he would haul them along the long path back to the village, and he would sell those buckets of water, and then he'd go back to the river and he would fill them again and haul it all the way back to the village. And he would do that over and over all day long. And that's how he made his money. That was his job. That was his business. And there were other men doing that. And that's how it was, just all their little businesses. And then he decided, I'm going to do something a little bit different with a little bit of my extra time. So during the day, I'm going to haul my buckets. But then at the end of the day, I'm going to start working on something else. And so he started laying pipelines, and everyone made fun of him. What are you doing with your spare time? What is this crazy thing you're doing? Until the day that he got that pipeline all the way from the river all the way to his village. And he turned the spigot on, and all that water flowed out. And he no longer had to haul buckets. It was to make his money. He would just charge and turn the spigot, and charge and turn the spigot. And it was this, he put in all that extra, all that work. And then even though he wasn't really working anymore, he wasn't hauling those buckets, he was still getting paid. And so that's a really great representation of what we kind of do with doTERRA. What we do is we help one family, and we show them that there's a different way to live with our natural cleaners and vitamins and all of our oils and different options. And we say, this is a different way. Let me be your personal coach and help you try something new and different. And we lead them through that path, and it becomes a residual income, because, they're going to use all of their lemon oil, and then they're going to need more lemon oil, or shampoo and conditioner, and they rotate through the things, or their vitamins every month. And it becomes this residual income when that work that I did 4 years ago when I first started this business, I'm still getting paid for today. When my babies are born, I can take a whole month off where I'm like, I can't really actually completely shut off the oils, but I can take a month off, where I'm not like purposefully going out all the time. And that paycheck still shows up. And that's amazing. That's amazing for us mill spouses, for when we're PCSing and we spend a month homeless and we can't, we don't have anything, all the money we need, because we all know the Air Force, not just the Air Force, but the military, they're not paying you, they're supposed to, and on time. And it's really nice that my paycheck doesn't stop, even though I don't have a home, or I'm in the middle of a move, or I'm having a baby, or my husband is deployed and I'm just exhausted and I need a break. It's just, there's another way. And we're going to kind of share a little bit more about that other way, and how that's really through doTERRA. Do you have anything else on that story?
No, I love that story for the simple fact that you can see what you're doing right now. It's either, are you trading time for money, or are you limited by what it is that you're choosing to do? Is there somebody putting a cap on how big you can, how far you can go, or are the numbers in your day slowing you down from what you could be pursuing? For me, doTERRA is not just a job, it's a lifestyle. It is what I would share these little brown bottles for nothing, but luckily they have built in a compensation plan that rewards me very, very generously for doing something that I absolutely love doing. So that portion where they talk about turning on that spigot, let me tell you, I just moved and I had to turn off my own doing the job for a couple months as we moved from Okinawa, Japan to Rhode Island and everything in between. But let me tell you, once the work that I have done over the last 4 years, I continued to be able to support my family and support my team from what we already had in place. So it's an amazing thing. So we're going to switch lanes here for just a second. We're going to talk about why in the world you would partner with doTERRA. And this is my favorite part because doTERRA is different than anything that you have ever seen or heard of before. It is the most tested and most trusted, largest essential oil company in the world. We got some new numbers. Let me pull them up so I can talk to you about them for a second. But doTERRA is changing the way that it has already changed the way that the world views essential oils. 100%. We are the ones that are able to set the standard for quality and for potency. And let me tell you, I'm going to go off on a little aside here, Caitlin, but let me tell you that there is an independent resource and testing community that tested 50 essential oil companies, over 50 essential oil companies, and only three came back as not adulterated, meaning they weren't filled up with a bunch of junk. 3 companies. 2 mom and pops. Unfortunately, one is going out of business because it wasn't sustainable, because the way that we test, it's expensive. And 2 is another one that's their fragrances is like $200. So because the cost to test for the purity and the potency of the oils is so great. Luckily, doTERRA knew what they were doing in the very beginning, and they set up a way for us to do sustainable sourcing and sustainable testing of these essential oils. They're rest assured that when we tell you no one does oils like doTERRA, it's 100% based in fact. And that is something that I can stand firm on. And for me, being a scientist, it stirs my little nerd brain. I love that because I know that the purity and the potency can't be matched by anyone else. So that is so super, super powerful.
The way that we source it too is just,
right.
I was just reading about our sandalwood, and there was it was like the over harvesting on so many of these plants, the frankincense or sandalwood. There's no standards in the world on how we're supposed to do any of this. And doTERRA has stepped up, and they're working with local governments and different agencies to say, hey, people have been not doing it right, and we are destroying our forests. We need to fix this. And they are working with like the Hawaiian government to talk about, hey, we need to rebuild this sandalwood forest, and these are the standards that need to be set, not just for us, but for all the essential oil companies, because we're hurting the world, you know? So it's kind of cool to work with. Like, yeah, we're breaking through in the healthcare industry, but we're also doing so much and making sure that all companies are being forced to be sustainable, you know, like eventually, you know, because we're setting the standard. Yeah. I just thought that was really cool because I just read about it.
It is really cool. Another part of the doTERRA difference is we are, as far as it goes with our retention, meaning our customers, they fall head over heels in love with the oils and the products. We have an over 65% retention rate. Guys, that's bigger than Costco's monthly retention rate. That is bananas. I know personally on our team, we're over 80% because our job as wellness advocates is to help people learn how to use their oils and help them fall madly in love with the products. It's not a hard job, and it's one that I personally take great responsibility, and I love doing it because it's changed my life so much. So that retention is what sets us apart. As when it comes to a direct sales company, nobody else has that to fall back on. That is where true residual income comes from, because every month you don't have to start from zero. Every month you don't have, because your customers are going to fall in love with it. Did you know that over 80% of people that purchase every single month with doTERRA don't earn a dime? They don't want to do the business. They're just customers. They love it. They absolutely love what doTERRA has to offer. That is huge. Most typical direct sales companies, they lead with the business opportunity. Have you ever seen people posting all over Facebook about, I earned this amount of money today, or, oh, have you seen the company driving the cars across the stage? Today, just last week at Leadership, let me tell you, doTERRA is nothing like that, nothing like that. I think that Emily Wright said something about doTERRA. We don't lead with, we don't show flash checks or cars. We flash donations, and donations to our healing hands. That is the company that doTERRA is. Were you saying something, Caitlin? Did I cut you off?
Nope, I was going to say the exact same thing. Like we flash donations is what I was
Right. To change people's lives, for real, change people's lives. So most direct sales companies are not like that. Now, is there a legitimate opportunity here to make some serious income? Absolutely. But we are here to share these oils to change people's lives. We're here to couple together to do that. Most of the time, the product sales, they depend on an opportunity. Because doTERRA, over 80% of it, people aren't building the business at all. That's 100% not the truth. Our products stand alone. I even tell the people that I'm working with that you've got to love the products first before you can ever build this business. Why? Because we have to be a product of what we're selling. Because when you're sharing these oils with people, you have to know that the reason why I do the balance challenge with my girls is because building a habit of using the oils every day is not only going to lift and liberate yourself and make your own health better, but you're going to be able to, people are going to see it in your face. They're going to hear your heart when you share these products that have changed your life. So doTERRA, we lead with product first, always. It will always be product first. We are definitely an authentic direct selling model. The reason why doTERRA chose direct selling is there's not another way to educate the way that we do without having a direct sales model. It's not possible. If you buy something at a grocery store, is somebody going to tell you how to dilute it so that you can put it on your baby?
No.
They don't do that. The education possibilities would not be there if it was sitting on a retail shelf. They wouldn't have the community of people working together without this model. So it's very, very important. But we lead with the products first. The products will sell regardless of the opportunity attached with it. It's just we're very passionate about helping each other use them. That's why the opportunity works the way that it does. We're sharing a wellness lifestyle with other people. Caitlin, you want to start talking about the growth for us?
Yeah. So doTERRA is only, I guess we just turned 11 or we're about to turn 11. So
about to turn 11.
Pretty relatively new company, but we have grown incredibly fast. We're actually following the same, you can see here on the growth chart, the same growth as Apple. We're just absolutely exploding. We're $1 billion company now, and we made that in only 7 years. It's a completely debt-free company, so you don't have to worry about like, okay, but are you going too fast? Like, it's all been responsible growth, and we continue to grow. And through that growth, we've really just exploded the market, and we've exploded the scientific research. Actually, since we came into the market, because of doTERRA, the scientific publications out there have expanded by over 400%, which is just 400% since doTERRA came on the market. It's because people are seeing real oils, and they had never really seen real pure oils before. And so people become interested when they see, and they're like, these people are healing. Let's get the science to prove why. And so that's really cool to be a part of. But we're projected to continue to grow. I've got some of the numbers from doTERRA this week that were released at Leadership, and it was just really, really neat. First, I want to talk about recognition. I know that a lot of people will say, yeah, okay, I would love to do the business, but everybody knows about doTERRA already. Everybody knows, everybody has a rep. It's way too saturated for me to get into it. You know, you guys have, what do we have, 7 million wellness advocates?
Yeah.
Something. It's not true. Do you know how many people have ever heard of doTERRA in the United States? 8%. Only 8% have even heard of the name doTERRA, and only 2 of those, that percent, only 2% have ever actually bought any product. And so the market is wide open, and it's ready to explode. There's so much growth that's about to happen. Let me see about these other numbers. They're a little bit further on. Even the essential oil market is growing, whether we take more of the market share or not. I don't know if I'm nerding out too much about these numbers, so tell me if I need to shut up. But it's really cool to see that the market right now, like the revenue in the United States is, what is it, 2.8 million in the United States. Mm-hmm. And by 2024, it is expected to grow to 2.5 million. Like just the market that essential oils are in. And we own a large portion of that market. So without grabbing more of the market, doTERRA is going to be growing. And then we're expected to actually grab some of that market. Why? Because we are the only really pure company out there besides those other two little mom and pop shops. The way that we impact the world through our co-impact sourcing and the Healing Hands Foundation, and all the different ways that doTERRA changes the world. And through this prime meridian, where we're going to now have health clinics where you're seeing a doctor who knows what basil essential oil is and On Guard and all these things. So there's that extra boost of confidence in those oils. And so we're going to see this huge shift in these next few years, in this next 6 years, this huge growth, not only in the United States and Canada, but all over the world. I can pull out the world numbers too, but I don't want to completely bore you. The point is that
it's huge.
We're just at the very beginning. When you look at this chart, it's not going to stop here. This is just the beginning of the curve. So
absolutely just the beginning. And the fact that we have 30 plus more clinics set to open within the next year, guys, I don't know if I can stress to you enough how much the validity of having the healthcare advisory board and the other physicians actually advocating for our essential oils, what that's going to do. That is going to change things even more. I mean, we've already had a 400% increase in clinical testing on essential oils themselves. It's going to get even more as we're coupling with healthcare providers to actually change the face of healthcare. If you guys could understand that we are going to move from the model that we have now to where you go in, you get your prescription, they tell you what to do, to empowered individuals learning how to take care of themselves better. This is where we are right now. We're right on the cusp. We're going into it. That is why building a business with doTERRA is going to be one of the most fulfilling things that you do for yourself, but it's also going to have that residual impact on your family, change your family tree, because you're at the start of something huge, huge. A couple other things about doTERRA and how it's different is that it's 100% debt-free company. All of our oils, we have an over 86% now exclusivity for our essential oils, meaning that people can't have them anyways. So
96.
What was that?
96%.
That's right. I said the wrong number. Thank you for the catch up. That means that people cannot, they may say that they have the same oil. They do not, guys. It's not possible. And why is that? It's because of how we source our oils. And I'm going to take just a second to explain what that is. It's called co-impact sourcing. What does that mean? It means that doTERRA does not buy any essential oils from distributors. What does that mean? Well, the normal, I'm pulling up my slide here so I can walk you through it, but the normal way most companies get essential oils is you've got the farmer, and they're not properly trained, they're not organized, they over harvest their crops, they grow them wherever they can find places to grow them in, they distill them, and in the country of origin, they have these brokers. These brokers and the perfumists, they make the most amount of money of anyone in this transaction. They grab all of the oils, jack up the prices, and then they sell it to US brokers who then go and sell it to companies. This is how it works for every single company besides doTERRA. This is the regular market as to how the essential oils go from farm to bottle to consumer. This is how it works. The middleman in there, he's the one that's going to make all of the money, okay? The farmer's making pennies on this. They're living in a third world country, because let's talk about where our oils come from matters. That is huge. This is not helping anyone. So enter doTERRA and the way that they source their oils. We work and we organize farmers in areas where the oils are going to be, where the plants grow the best, and they have the best climate, the best soil, the best farming practices. This is what we do when we organize with them. We distill with them. They have their own distilleries. Most of in the distilleries, they test right there on site so that they know if their plants have gone through the proper amounts of, we're getting the right therapeutic components of each essential oil first. And then it goes straight to who? To doTERRA. There's no middleman. That means that these people that we've partnered with are making a living wage. What does that do for these people? It helps them to lift up and rise out of their situation. This changes things, people, because when we get to do this, we get to make sure that their needs are met. This is where we come in with other organizations like our Healing Hands nonprofit organization, and we build them schools and clinics and water sources and change their lives. Because when we do that, we're able to have that exclusive contract with them so that they're getting paid fairly, and we are getting the very best essential oils in the world. We're the only ones that have that organization. We're the only ones that do it this way. No one else would take the time. No one else thinks about it long-term that way. For it to be sustainably sourced this way, guys, this is really important because essential oils do take resources. And we could run out of the plants that we need if we don't tend to things properly. If we didn't stop over harvesting frankincense, we wouldn't have that powerful essential oil for years to come. So this is so important. We're able to give back to the communities that we get the essential oils from through the Healing Hands Foundation, which is one of it's the best thing that I've ever heard of. It's how we take care of the people that are giving the oils to us. We pay the growers fairly. We preserve the agricultural knowledge that's necessary to get us the high quality essential oils that we have. If this is something that you want to learn more about, and I'm urging every single one of you on this call today, after you're done, go to source2you.com and read and learn about all there is to our co-impact sourcing agreements. Guys, we've been, David Sterling has been interviewed for Forbes magazine and other magazines many, many, many times because the way that the sourcing is done, it's business done right. And guys, that matters because I know if I'm selling something, I darn sure want to know that the person that had to get this for me was treated fairly. That matters to me. Knowing that the vetiver oil that I put on my toes every night so that I can shut my busy brain up, that the person no longer had to go walk for 3 hours to get water because doTERRA came in and changed things. Not to mention that our oil, our vetiver grows for 18 months instead of 6 months like everybody else. So not to mention that the therapeutic benefits are there more than any other essential oil company. Rest assured, when you put your head on your pillow at night, you know that the people growing this were taken care of and that they love doTERRA for what we've done so that we could do this the right way. The doTERRA pipeline, it touches many, many lives, not just yours and I, not just as business builders, because as we grow our business, lives all over the world are lifted, and we do this together. Every purchase that we make, every purchase that we help our customers make, help to grow abundance around the world. I'm sorry, I'm so passionate about that because it matters. It really matters. Caitlin, do you want to take the next one? Sorry.
Amazing. You're hard to follow, girl. No, it's huge. I shared a portion of my why earlier about one of the first kind of motivators for me is, building a business in which it gets to the point where we can be comfortable as a family the moment the Air Force lets my husband out. And that's just a portion of it because really I can see a vision beyond that too. And it's that free to give that doTERRA really encourages us to live. And so, there's the co-impact sourcing, which is absolutely huge to me. Like, I don't want people in sweatshops and which we're not going to get that exact thing with essential oils, but that kind of just mistreatment. We're not having that with doTERRA. We have the Healing Hands Foundation, where we're giving so much to these communities, because it's not just about the farmers, it's their entire communities. If we can rise their entire company, their entire country and communities up, that's where we can really make a difference. But beyond that, when you see wellness advocates say, well, now I'm a diamond, I'm making so much a month, I guarantee they're not keeping it all. I don't know a certain diamond. I don't know any diamond that's actually keeping all of their money. The culture in doTERRA is to take that and to give it away. So to build to a point where we are free to give, that's what we call it in doTERRA, where we are free from our debts, we are free from our basically bills every month because we're not worrying about it, so that when our friend is hurting and they can't pay their light bill, we can say, let me help you this month. Or when our friend is trying to adopt a baby, we can say, let me help you with that. And we're there and we can do that. And that's a huge driving factor for me, that when my friends are hurting, or even not friends, but you get the idea, that I can be there and I can give freely. When you're driving down the road and you're like, oh man, I wish I had the cash to give that homeless man money. Or when you're at the restaurant and you want to make a really big tip, but you don't have the means. This is about getting to that point where you can. And it's I don't know. I don't speak quite as eloquently as you, I don't think, but
no, you totally do. But this is the type of company that if you decide to go all in and build a doTERRA business, this is the culture that you're stepping into. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we're going to talk just a few seconds about the possibilities that you can see with doTERRA. Now, Caitlin and I are both platinum leaders in doTERRA, but we all started out around the same. So what is this? When you see this, I don't want you to think those numbers are not attainable, because they are. But we're just going to graze over this, because we're going to go through and start talking a little bit more about how we can make this happen. The reason why this is there is that because I want you to sit on it for a second, and I want you to dream for just a minute. I want you to think, what could happen if I had a vehicle that was proven that to create this type of income in a residual monthly manner? What could happen if I collaborated with a team of people that were headed in this direction? It's possible, and it's happening. So I'm not going to sit here on this slide for too long, but I remember when I first saw something like this. I'll tell you a 2-second story. I had to write down what I was going to do in pencil because I didn't believe it. And if you're sitting right there right now and you're thinking, is that really possible? I want to tell you it's 100% possible. And Caitlin and I can show you the way to do it. And the best part about it is that it will never feel icky. It will never feel wrong, because what you're doing is you're sharing something that you 100% believe in, and that you know you're going to impact people's lives. This is a huge opportunity, and we're both sitting here asking you to jump in and do this with us, because when we lock arms and we do it together, we're better together. That's just all there is to it. So don't be afraid of that. At the beginning, your goal may be as simple as what mine was when I first started, is I needed to pay for my lifelong vitality habit that had been formed. That was my whole goal. I knew I couldn't go a day without my lifelong vitality. So I needed to know, how could I do that? Well, you can do that, because I did it within the first month or two. And then it was, let me supplement my income, because I mean, my husband's a naval officer now, but he wasn't always. How can I supplement my income with, staying at home now with my new diagnosis that I was still trying to learn how to live with? So I got to silver in 4.5 months because I couldn't shut up. So it's a good thing to be passionate. It's a good thing. But we want to help you to dream a little bit. So look at these numbers. Don't be afraid of them. But think to yourself, what do you want to do? Do you want to get your products paid for every month? We can do that. Do you want to supplement your income? We can do that. Do you want to be like Caitlin and bring her husband home? I want to bring mine home too, but he's got some years he's got to finish up first. But do you want to bring him home?
So.
Huh?
I said my husband has 7 years left.
Yeah, we've got 3. So is that your dream? Is that their dream? I don't know if it's going to be Mark's dream to come in and do the business with me, but you know what would be awesome when we're sitting at Blue Diamond? He can choose to find his passion and choose what stirs his soul, because this stirs mine. That's a really powerful thing, to be able to, instead of working, exchanging time for money, being able to do something that stirs your soul and gets you excited from the pits of your belly, getting you ready to go out and share an oil again. I still, 4.5 years into this, my favorite thing to do is to teach an essential oil class. To teach a basic 101 class, even though I could go nerd out all day on science, basics is my absolute favorite. And that's what we're going to be able to teach you guys how to do. So I'm super excited. These are just a few of the ways that in doTERRA that you get paid. You get paid in 5 different ways. Do you want to share that, Caitlin? I feel like I'm talking too much.
Yeah, I can share that. So you get paid in 5 different ways. One of them is technically retail. Nobody sells retail because it's a lose-lose for everyone. So we can just skip over that.
You don't want your friends to pay full price for anything.
No.
Yeah, if I got a coupon, I'm going to share my coupon.
You're not doing your friends a service by having them pay full price. The second way is a little bit of hauling buckets. It's that fast start. But it helps you kind of start before, because, when he's building his pipeline, like in that story, he's still hauling buckets during the day and he's building it at night. And so that fast start kind of helps you along when you're first building that pipeline. And that pipeline is the unilevel that I'll talk about in a second. And so that fast start is like 10, 20, or 5% of their enrollment orders and like their first orders when they get into doTERRA. And that's really where the bulk of your paycheck will be those first few months that you're started. But they really help. Like I said, my fast starts paid for my kit within a month of me enrolling, just because I jumped in. Once I realized what had happened, it was like, I had to tell everyone. It just happens. It comes so naturally. And then the second, I guess a third way is Power of 3. So it's just doTERRA's way of saying, this is the way you should structure your team. And then they will reward you for structuring it a certain way with teams where people can help each other. And you're supporting other people to get their oils paid for. And doTERRA rewards you for helping other people get their oils paid for, basically. And it really helps build this culture too of, I want my downline to succeed. Not just because my heart wants my downline to succeed, but it's actually built into the compensation plan if I can get them to succeed. Same with our unilevel bonus. Ours is actually upside down. So if you know anything about other MLMs, like I actually did 31 for a little bit before doTERRA. I quickly learned that once everyone had their purses, nobody wanted more. And that was like a huge light bulb for me. Like, this is not the company I need to be with. And then when doTERRA came around, I was like, okay, I was ready for doTERRA. But those people, they're getting paid on the opposite. So you see that there's the 2, the 3, the 5, 6, 7% on that green chart. In most other companies, that 7% is on level 1, and that 6% is on level 2, and it's the other way. And it may not seem like a big deal until you see the difference in paychecks. Because when you look at that Power of 3 blue chart, where are all the people? Are they on that first line directly underneath you? No, all the people are down on that 3rd level underneath you. And so you're getting 7% on all of those people instead of 7% on just the 3 on your front line. So it's the same amount of commissions. It's just sending them up the chain a little bit differently. And it's really advantageous. That's another thing that really promotes this culture of me wanting to help everyone on my team, because it helps everybody else on the team. But it also is much more lucrative. So if you have the exact same team in 2 different companies, but one's getting paid on that 2 to 7 like us, and one's getting paid on the opposite, the other company is getting paid $10,000 a month, And in doTERRA, with the exact same sales, the exact same structure, gets $27,000 a month. Just on Unilevel. So that's huge. I've never seen another essential oil company use this Unilevel structure. I just feel like that's
I've never seen it on any other network marketing company either, for it to be inverted that way. Because honestly, most of the companies are, when you enroll somebody, you keep them close to you as much as you can. But doTERRA's not like that, because we build together as a team. We're all in this together. So it's more advantageous for me to share and to help other people grow their teams and everyone be lifted up. It's that linking arms together, like I talked about before. That's what we're doing here. And I know that it might sound like a stretch now, but it is one of those things that we have to talk about, because ours is opposite, because we are helping to create team. We are helping to go together. Everyone achieves more. And that is what this structure is for.
This incentivizes me to come and teach classes with you and help you teach classes and get you comfortable teaching your own.
That's exactly right.
It incentivizes me to place people underneath you. Like, we can't make any promises, but it really, I mean, we want you to succeed, but it's all built in a way that everybody in the entire company wants everybody else to succeed. And it's built this beautiful, there's no competition.
No, we're all one big team. Even people that aren't on if you guys don't understand the significance of what we're talking about, Caitlin and I are not on the same team. We are not anywhere close to each other. I don't benefit on anything that she does, and she doesn't benefit on anything that I do. But we love each other, and we're going to be a team, and we're going to rise together. This is the type of community that doTERRA is, and this is the culture of what we do. Another way that we get paid is the leadership bonuses. Basically, it means it's a giant pie, and they slice up the pie, and they give it out to the leaders every month. This is something that that once you start building with doTERRA, it's a really fun part of your yes.
Well, so this is another thing that promotes that culture, the leadership bonus. Because once you get leadership bonus, it actually does help me a little bit that we're teaching together.
Right?
Just a little, like, not directly, but if you rise, our entire company rises and my bonus rises.
That's right.
You know, so it actually a little bit does help, because there's no competition within the teams, because especially at the leadership levels, we all want everybody to succeed, because we all rise because of it. So it's just, they were very brilliant in the way that they made their compensation plan to build the culture that they wanted with it. It's just, I mean, who does that? Who even thinks to build it in that way? So
nobody knows to flip it upside down until doTERRA wants to flip everything upside down. They want to flip the healthcare industry upside down. So when you're thinking about doTERRA, you're honestly having to think about what it is that you're wanting to do. Each of us has an opportunity to create what it is that we want to do. doTERRA can help you build a very robust and abundant financial pipeline. And when that happens, you will be able to explore what it is that stirs your soul, what it is that makes you want to do this with us, what it is that makes what fuels your passion, because your time is going to be freed up because you've got that spigot of doTERRA pipeline rolling. It's a powerful thing. So remember when I told you to think just a little bit about those numbers and what they would mean to you? I want to ask you one more question. Out of these three things, what would be the biggest impact in your life? Would earning more money, is that something that's important to you? Becoming debt-free, having a generous savings account or rainy day fund, being able to be free financially so that you can give and live like no one else? What about working smarter? Do you want that time freedom? I know. Do you want to be able to have the freedom with your kids instead of not being able to keep them home? Or whatever it is that you're wanting to do? Do you want to spend more time building a dream that you have? What about self-improvement? I'll tell you one thing. I am not the same person I was 4.5 years ago when I started this business. We joke that doTERRA is a personal development company wrapped up in essential oils, but it's 100% true. We all become better people as we do this. What about financial planning or preparedness? You just want to make sure that all of your kids can go to college. What is it that makes a big impact on you? What about doing what it is that you love? Do you like to travel? I know most of us military spouses love to travel, right? Even if you're not a mil spouse, do you love to travel? What about education? Do you like to learn more? Because this is the kind of company where you're going to be learning something every day. Is that exciting to you? Do you like to teach other people? What do you want to get involved in? What kind of service is important to you? What about spending just time with your family? These are some things that I want you to think about, because it will impact your decision as to whether you want to do this or what it is that you could do with doTERRA to make that work for you. So there are a couple of goals here that we'll talk about, and it'll just really help you decide what it is that you're wanting to do. So we talked about it the other page. If you wanted to get your product paid for, what could your goals be, like to hit the rank of elite or premier? I know that these can be kind of abstract things to think about when you're new, but just we talked about what it'll look like. To be elite or premier usually goes about 3 to 5 hours a week. Personally enroll a few customers a month, maybe host a class or two. That's what elite and premier income would look like, around $300 to $900 a month. What about supplementing your income from around rank of premier to gold? This is when you want to grow a business and you want to spend some significant time, maybe a couple weeknights and maybe a day on your weekend growing your business. You would teach a couple classes, maybe a class a week even, but you would enroll about 4 customers and another business builder, and you would be ready to help them learn how to do their business as well. These are some goals that it might look like, and that's around the income that you can expect to achieve with that. And you see there, it says about 10 to 15 hours a week. Is that something that you think that you could do? Is that something that you are excited about? And then look down here at replace your income. This is where I'll tell you, this is where I see myself, even though I homeschool my kids and I'm able to do this at the same time. This is replacing my income and my husband's income to grow a really large doTERRA team. So teaching several classes, maybe multiple classes a week, or spending time doing it together. And I want Caitlin to jump in here because she does her business differently than I do. And this is what's so beautiful about the two of us hopping on here, is because we do things differently. I do a lot of in-person classes. I like to sit belly to belly with people and rub oils all over them. But and I love the personal interactions and really helping people. I travel a lot for my team, and now that I'm back in the States, I'm starting to travel more to help people teach classes and learn how and get confident. Caitlin, do you want to jump in here a little bit?
Yeah. So my first year building, I did actually a lot of in-person classes, and that was just because of the nature of pilot training, and that's where I got started. And so we had like an in-person community, and then my life became so mobile. Like we were going to C-17 training, and then we were moving, and then we were going back home for deployment, and then we were going to SOS. Like we were all over the place, and I'm really comfortable online. I love teaching Facebook Lives in my class. I love blogging. I love posting on Facebook, and all those things were just something that brought me joy. Like making graphics and taking pictures was just super fun for me. And so that's where I really dove in. And so I have a blog and I run a Facebook group, and I make most of my enrollments through there. I find people just on Facebook. People come to me and they're like, hey, what oils do you use for this? I'm like, let me help you. And we FaceTime. Maybe we FaceTime. Otherwise, we're just texting each other, and I help them get with their oils, and they text me when they have problems. And this is my business. This is my phone, and this is where I do my whole platinum business with doTERRA, basically. A little bit on my computer too, obviously, with the blogging. And so we do build very differently, but I mean, we both got here. So it works either way. I do, eventually hope to get more in person now that we're kind of settling in Colorado for a little bit, though. But you can build this with your own strengths. You
Right.
don't have to follow my exact course. You know, like some people join my team and they're like, okay, well, how do I start my blog? I'm like, okay, I will help you through it, but you don't have to do a blog like I do a blog. You know, we can all build with our own strengths, which is just nice.
Which I think is so cool because everybody has a different way of doing things and we all have different strengths. My team, they can attest that technology really challenges me. So for me, getting sitting around the table with someone is the way that I enjoy to do this. But what's cool is that we have resources to help you with whatever it is that you're wanting to do with it. And it's going to lead us right into the next section. And that is, what do I need to do if I wanted to do this? What is it that I need to become good at so that I can share this doTERRA business? And there are 3 simple steps. And I'm going to explain these, and then Caitlin, I'm going to ask you to explain what pipes is. But there's 3 things that you need to do to become successful with doTERRA. The first one, and I've said it before, but you've got to use the products. You cannot expect to have a robust doTERRA team unless you use the oils every single day. And I'm going to step this up and I'm going to go one more, and I might ruffle a little bit of feathers here, but if you're not taking Lifelong Vitality and you aren't replacing the things in your home with doTERRA products, it's going to be harder for you because you have to understand what the doTERRA lifestyle is. Because when people come in and they come to your class and they're washing their hands, they should be washing their hands with On Guard foaming hand soap instead of something antibacterial that, when we get more into this lifestyle, we know isn't good for you anyways. When it is all about becoming 100% authentic and in love with doTERRA. I was joking with one of my girls before is that I want to work with somebody who would fight me if I told them they couldn't buy Lifelong Vitality anymore. And that might be just a silly thing to say, but it's 100% true, because we can lock arms with each other when we are 100% founded in the truth and the use of our products. Because remember, we're not a direct sales company that leads with the opportunity first. We lead with the products. It's always product centered. So number 2 you have to do is you got to share the oils. This is something that I remember and I teach to every single person that wants to build a business with doTERRA. You need to invite everyone. Why everyone? Because there's going to be somebody out there that's like me, stubborn, skeptical, thinking that oils aren't for me. There's people out there just like me, and they deserve your help too. They need your help, even if they don't know they need your help. We invite everyone. And then we move with the people that move towards us, the people who are interested in coming to the classes. We help them. People who decide to get a starter kit of oils, we help them learn how to use them. However means that is necessary. If they're Facebookers or if they are, technology challenged people, maybe it's going to have to take a couple phone calls until they're comfortable to use the oils. Help them learn how to download an app so they can go and figure out what to use for their kids' runny nose. These are the things that we get to do when we're going to share doTERRA with the people that are coming towards us, the people that are interested and open. And sometimes we have to help them open up their minds. It could be 4 to 5 times that a person is exposed to an essential oil before they are ready to purchase an essential oil. So being open and inviting to everyone, that is how you're going to be able to share your message with more people. And the 3rd thing that we do is we teach. So we share oils with everyone, but we teach the people that come. And that's your job as a wellness advocate. Those 3 things. Sounds super simple, right? We're going to use the products ourselves. We're going to share doTERRA with everyone. And we are going to teach others and educate them how to use essential oils. Did you notice that in there I didn't say you had to be an expert? Wow. Because you don't have to be an expert. Do you know how many times I pull up my app so that I can find out what somebody is asking me a question about? I don't need to know everything. All you have to do is you have to be empowered yourself and know that where you can find the information. And we're here to share with you how to find that information. So that's the only 3 things that you have to do.
Yeah, it's really that simple. And people are like, that they can't be that simple. Like, and like the expert thing, like, so much more than me. I'm like, no, 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 sweetheart. When I get on a live and I teach about magnolia, my book is open to magnolia. And I'm like, good for skin. So it's good for skin. Like, I'm not an expert. Like, the things that I know off the top of my head are just because I use it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are, or because someone happens to have asked me about it before. When I first started, people would message me. I mean, like, literally had my kit for like 3 or 4 weeks. And my kid has the runny nose. They're like, let me bring you some breathe and let's try it. I had to look that up in a book. I was not an expert, but I just pushed through and I just found the answers. So anyways, I was gonna just go over pipes really quick, which is actually just what she told you with the 3 things. It's simple. It's like a little more expanded on exactly what that means and what it might look like, but you're using the products, you're sharing the products, and you're teaching about it, or I guess inviting. So preparing. So Lindsay was talking about how we're developing ourselves and how everybody's growing and our belief is growing and we're making ourselves better. And that's where that prepare is. So you'll be asked, if you do this business, to do 15 or 20 minutes of personal development every day. So that's while you're driving to work or driving to the grocery store or straightening your hair or wherever it's most comfortable, to put on a podcast or an audiobook or something where you're making yourself better. You're learning more about the oils, or you're learning more about the business aspect, or whatever you need at that time. There's lots of podcasts. We can always give you any suggestions if you ever get stuck. So there's a little bit of that prepare, that I think is part of that use the products, because that's preparing. If you're not using the products, you're not prepared to tell somebody else about the products. And then we're inviting people. And so that's just, think about it. When you're hanging out with your friends or your family, what's always comes up? Someone always says, oh, my back hurts. Oh, I've had this headache for like a week. It is like the thing where people want to tell you about how sick they are all the time. It's not even hard to invite people, because people practically invite themselves. They're like, I am in pain. And you can say, hey, are you open to natural solutions? Something cheaper, effective, and safer? I'm teaching a class on Saturday, and I would love it if you came and learned about essential oils. Or you can set up a one-on-one, and that's really that present, and that's a next one. So you're inviting people, and then you're presenting what doTERRA is and what essential oils are, and these vitamins and supplements and how they can change their life. And then the next one, I don't know if you want to scroll up. That's the E. So that's, you're good. Enroll. I didn't want to like totally get ahead. So that's when you're just like enrolling someone. So you're inviting them, and then you're presenting to them, and then you're enrolling them. And that's when you're really also, it kind of transfers into that support, where you're making sure that you don't just sell them the kit and then
leave them
to
hanging.
the wind and you never talk to them again. This is where you make sure that they know how to use their oils, and you might even go over to their house and open the box with them, whatever your comfort level is with them, and following up and making sure that they're okay and that they're using it. And then that support. So this is where like my online community really comes in, because it's that support. I've created this group where everybody's answering everybody else's questions, and a blog where people can find answers. And that absolutely doesn't have to be the way you support your customers, but that's the way that I found a lot of success for mine. And then eventually, not at the beginning, but eventually, you'll have to also support your team. So that's teaching classes like this, or teaching how the compensation plan works, or doing private mentor calls and that sort of thing. But it's not any more complicated than that. It's just telling people how you live your doTERRA life and helping them to do it too.
Absolutely. And it's rinse and repeat. We get to do this all the time. We do the same Same things with every single person. So if you look down there, you'll see right here right in the middle of the screen, you'll see there's different guides there. doTERRA has built a system for us that we can walk people through. So the first part of the system is where we introduce or we talk about essential oils and invite them to come to a class. They have 2 classes for us that we've already have built. Now, however you choose to do your classes is up to you, but I always say start with the basics and completely do those over and over and over again until you're super comfortable. And then you have to restart yourself so that you don't get too far ahead of yourself, and really do the basics over and over and over again, because that's what's going to help you to build a community of people who love these essential oils. So you're going to use those natural solutions class handouts that you can find. doTERRA even has a class in a box that you can purchase for $25. It has 10 different 5 ml bottles of wild orange that you can give to your people that come to the class. It has the class handouts, the brochures that you need to be able to teach an effective class. It's really, and it's got a DVD. I think it still comes with a DVD that teaches you what to say about each essential oil. It really, really makes it easy for you. And then you'll see these next 3 guides here. There's the live guide. So your next step, it tells you exactly what to do with the next, with the person who's brand new to doTERRA. You walk them through the live guide, which is a lifestyle overview, and teaches them how to use the essential oils in their home. That's the live guide. And then if you have somebody that maybe they're not open to the business at this point, but they have friends that they want to share the oils with, you have another guide to help them. It's called the share brochure that you can walk and read this to them so that they can understand what the next step in their journey might be. And then what we've done today is we've gone over the build guide. And this is basically just an intro to the business opportunity of doTERRA and how you live this lifestyle and share it with others, and you can create income. Now, the next thing, so you've come today and you said, you know what? I think I want to do this. I think I want to couple with Caitlin, or you want to couple with me and you want to build this business. There's called the launch guide. That is something that we can help you to walk through, to learn how to teach your classes and become effective. We even have more, which I think is super cool, and this is coming out soon. If you want to learn how to be the most effective person that you can when you're trying to invite people, there's another guide coming out. It's called the Sales Guide for Wellness Advocates. It's going to teach you how to help people become comfortable with the idea of buying your products, because that's what we're doing. We're helping people and inviting them into a lifestyle. doTERRA has equipped us with the tools to be very, very effective at this. So these are right there, those guides that we just talked about. You're going to live the wellness lifestyle. This is that second opportunity. I usually call this the lifestyle overview, or your second appointment with people right after they've got their kit of oils. You're going to help them understand what it is, what this whole doTERRA life is all about. And the second one is you're going to share it with others. So maybe this is the one that you're going to give to somebody who maybe wants to host a class for you. And then you've got the launch guide, and that's where you plan out what you're going to do with doTERRA. You have the steps right in front of you to make this a really successful adventure for you. And what's cool is you've got us. We want to help you. We want to help you be as successful as you choose to be. So if you've loved learning what you've learned today, I'm going to challenge you to go through, and if you don't have this guide at home, say you've never seen this that we just walked through, the link for this will be in our event on Facebook. Go and print it out. And this number, it's the last page there, it's called a names list. I'm going to give you a little bit of a nudge here. I want you to sit down and I want you to think of the names of some people that you would like to share doTERRA with, that you know would love these products, because people do fall in love with them. I mean, we did. Everybody does every day. So who do you want to help? Who do you want to introduce these oils to so that they could, maybe it'll be like Caitlin and help her baby so the baby's not crying anymore. Maybe it's the stressed out mom who needs a little balance in her life, because who doesn't? That's my favorite oil. who is it that you want to share this with? This is your very first step, is to write this down and to spend some time thinking about these questions that we've asked you. And when you have some of the answers, reach out to us. Reach out to Caitlin, or reach out to me if I invited you here, so that we can talk a little bit more and help you decide what the next step is. Do you have anything you want to say, Caitlin?
No, I think this is an incredible exercise, because I think when you first start kind of thinking about it, you're like, I know like 2 people that might like oils, you know, because you're just kind of surface level thinking about it. And then you start to write names and you realize, oh, that person is, you know, you just realize
everybody needs them.
You realize the need. And yeah, exactly. Everyone needs them. You know, everyone needs to feel better, to get rid of the toxins in their home, to be on a good vitamin. And so this is just a good exercise for you to realize how much of an opportunity this is, and how it's really not, you know, totally unreachable.
Absolutely not. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording now. And